Hello again, everyone, and welcome into Bailey's Best, a little podcast-style get-together with Zach Kaplan each week, and we want to talk about a whole bunch of topics. The first thing we're going to talk about, the regionals are back in Greenville. Now, back in the day, we had regional semifinals all week, and then we had the regional finals on Saturday. It was a great week of sports in our area, and throughout the years, because of sponsorship, a lack of a sponsorship, we lost them, and now we've got them back at least for 3 or 4 days. And now with 8 classifications, you have to find some place like this. So, but they're back, and that's the big thing.
And they used to be in separate spots too, if I remember right. The girls would be at Rose,
Right.
the boys would be at Minji's. Now it's all there.
Right.
And as we speak here on Wednesday afternoon, they've already gotten underway. They're going to have the 8A tonight. Hoggard is in both games. Hoggard and Laney in the 8A boys. So, I'm going to Wilmington for Pirate Baseball. We'll get to them in a little bit, but everyone from Wilmington's coming up here, I guess.
I guess they are, because that's going to be huge. And the crowds, it's always a different sound when you go for the basketball regionals. I mean, all the students that are in there and everything, and I guess their voices haven't changed or something, but it just sounds different whenever the high school regionals are at Minji's Coliseum. It's a great venue. So glad. I mean, they really should call it the Dr. Jimmy Grimsley Regionals, because that would be good because he ran them for so many years, and I think that would be really cool to have his name on them. But just hope that they can keep them now. You got them, so now you got to keep them. And I'm not sure how the sponsorships work now. Maybe they don't need a sponsor; they just need a place to play. Because when you have 8 classes with boys and girls, you're talking 16 games. You're talking 5 games today, which is Wednesday, 1 game Thursday because of the East Carolina basketball game. Normally, you would go Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So we've straightened that out. But then you go Friday 5, Saturday 5. So we've got some big ones coming up.
Yeah, we do. And they found, Lenore Ryan has become kind of a host in the West. They hosted some of the football championships as well back in December. And like you said, Brian, I mean, you got to have a place that has enough parking, big enough to have crowds. And some will be really small, and some, like Friday night, which we'll get to with Kinston and Martin County, will probably be pretty big.
Yeah.
And you got to kind of have a building that can manage both of those, and parking too.
All right, let's talk about some of the teams that we will see in the regionals this week. In the 4A regionals, it'll be Washington as the 2 seed against Reedsville, the 1 seed. That's a Saturday 4 o'clock game. So they have to wait all week. And that's difficult as well, because you have to wait all week to play your game. Washington beat Reedsville earlier this year, which was a big upset. I think it snapped a huge winning streak that Reedsville had. And that was a great win. Can they do it twice?
And the question is, can they contain Deontay Neal for Reedsville? He's a UNCG basketball commit. He dropped 42 in that game at the John Wall tournament back in December when they played in Raleigh. And that was an epic game. Like you said, snapped the win streak. Reedsville, you think about with football and basketball, one of the all-time winningest high schools in North Carolina. What an upset it would be. And the biggest thing for Washington, and it's been cool. I was there Monday night. It's been cool to see the community come out, support that team. The Pan Pax gym was packed, no pun intended, and this would be their first state title since Dominique Wilkins in the late 70s.
Dominique.
I mean, and I'd imagine, Brian, he's one of the best to ever come out of Eastern North Carolina as far as high school goes.
For sure.
I mean, what it would mean to that community to even play for a state title. They had a dynasty in the 70s, and try to send them out with 8 seniors here in 26.
Yeah, you talked to their coach David Allawalt the other day. I talked to him on the radio as well. What a great guy, and he's really embraced the entire community and the big town effort to get this thing going. And they will have a big crowd coming up against Reedsville. That's Saturday at 4 o'clock. So if you got nothing to do on Saturday, get to the gym.
Get on over there.
Watch those Pan Pack play in that game. 3A regional finals, and I think this might be the biggest crowd of the week.
Absolutely.
Because it'll be the number 4 seed Martin County. Martin County stunned Farmville Central in that game. Kinston is the 2 seed. Kinston really struggled against a good Northwood team, but they got the win. They got it win by 2. So it's Martin County and Kinston in that 3A regional final. I don't know which way that's going to go.
I don't either. Everyone thought it was going to be Kinston and Farmville Central round 3.
Yeah.
There was a lot of beefing after round 2 when I was in Kinston.
There's a lot of beefing after round 3
really,
in Farmville.
Yeah, then there was that as well. What a crowd that's going to be. And you think about in Williamston and Martin County. I mean, for so many years had 4 high schools there, and then it was down to 2. And this is really the first time that they've gotten this far in any sport for competing for a state championship since they consolidated the high schools into one building and one school over at what used to be Riverside. But what a story they've been. Kind of, a young team that's coming together, a second-year coach who I know you had on your radio show as well this week. And, it would be really cool for the folks in Williamston to get that. And obviously Kinston, they played for a football state title in the fall. Wouldn't it be something if they also play for a basketball state
Somebody
title?
pointed this out. I made the comment that when they were trying to name Martin County, they had a great chance because all the horses right there in that area call them the Martin County Mustangs.
And it's alliterative.
Yeah, it sounds great. But they went with Martin County Gators. So I said, how many Gators have you seen in Martin County? Well, then I got a call back and said, well, it used to be the Williamson Tigers. How many times did you ever see a tiger in Williamson? So I said, touche. And then it was the Riverside Knights. I didn't see a knight there the whole time either.
No.
So there you go.
But what about, like you said, that will be the biggest crowd, I would think, as far as the regionals go.
Martin County Gators and the Kinston Vikings. That's a Friday 8 o'clock start. And we will tell you that Friday 8 o'clock, I'm telling you.
Will not start at 8 o'clock.
It'll start at 9, closer to 9, I think. Now, maybe I'm wrong. We'll see what happens with the game today. But I think it's going to be a late start. And then in the girls' action, Pamlico County has had a wonderful season. And they hope to continue that Saturday at noon. They play the 3-seed Gates County. The nickname for Gates County, do you know it?
Oh, it's the Red Barons?
Red Barons, very nice. You haven't been here that long either, but Red Barons. I guess they're the Lady Red Barons. What do you think?
And technically they're not in the viewing area too. So I mean, it's not like we have to know it, but I try to make sure I know.
But they
them.
play a lot of teams in our area.
Yeah,
so.
yes, they do. And Pamlico, they had a running clock against Lakewood in their 4th round game, so they've been outstanding all year. It will be tough if they get to state. They'd get either Cherokee or Bishop McGuinness. So it's going to be a big home court for either of those schools. But hey, to get there would be pretty special.
If you need the schedule, it's on our website at WNCT.com. We'll take a commercial break right now. We'll be back with more right here on Bailey's Best right after this. All right, welcome back to Bailey's Best. Brian Bailey with Zach Kaplan. Let's talk Pirate baseball now. East Carolina, I don't want to say it's off to a slow start, but I think they really wanted to sweep the LeClaire Classic and win that event, and they weren't able to do so. Western Carolina came in, shut them down in that last game 2-0.
Yeah, they did, and Cliff Godwin was not happy with the effort of the position players afterwards. He may have said an ugly word that we can't put on this air or on Channel 9 either, but it was, he definitely called him out, and he said it was the first time this year that he's really hasn't seen the effort, and the guys had kind of the look in their eye of maybe being tired or what have you. But it's always like when it's a beautiful day for baseball and there's a great crowd, and then you come out with 6 hits and no runs to show for it is tough.
I looked at what he said, and I went back and thought about the game. They hit a lot of balls hard. I mean, they really did.
Yeah.
I mean, they hit balls on the barrel. They hit balls, line drives left and right. And it just seemed like they just hit it right at somebody every time. And I kept thinking, you got to hit it where they ain't, is the old baseball saying. But, some days that's baseball. That's what happens when you have something like that. Now, according to the East Carolina sports information folks, the Pirates and Western Carolina share the LeClaire title because they both were 2-1, and the other two teams were 1-2. That was Troy and Rutgers. But I did my research through the years.
Okay.
And they've never had two teams share a title, because usually if two teams are sharing the title, then one team beat the other team, and that's who would get it. Now, I didn't go back to see if that had happened in all the years of this that goes way back to...
that'd be quite the rabbit hole to go down.
Oh, exactly. The Pirates had won 15 championships, 11 outright and 4 shared. But according to WNCT and the Brian Bailey Scope, we're going to go with Western Carolina as the 2026 champion because they beat East Carolina. East Carolina was 2-1. Western Carolina was 2-1.
It's like a head-to-head.
So I'm saying that they didn't share the title. Western Carolina gets it. I mean, and it's not a trophy. It's not a true championship or anything like that. It doesn't really matter. In the scope of life, has no meaning. But if you're going to keep up with stats like this, so the Pirates now are, would they pick up 2 wins? So they're
2 wins,
51 and 18. all time in the Classic. According to East Carolina, they've now have 16 championships, 11 outright and 5 shared. But according to Brian Bailey, they don't have this extra one. I'm just saying that I just don't see how that works like that. The Pirates had won 5 straight from 2013 to 2017. And Cliff Godwin, if you count East Carolina's way to do math, they've now won 9 outright or a share. Cliff Godwin has. His record now would be 25-11 overall, and he has 4 shared and 5 outright, according to East Carolina.
While we're doing the math here, it is also Mustache March, and I know you're doing your best over there.
Yeah,
it looks a little
terrible.
Thin.
A little,
but you got 31 days.
I'm old.
We're doing this on March 3rd. You got time.
It just won't grow.
I have faith in you. I think
you,
you're gonna.
You get paid to have faith in me.
I think the mustache will look good by the end of the month. I'm going to make that prediction.
But I'm going to try, and it doesn't look good right now, does it? It's awful.
No, right now it's tough. But
it's tough.
You have 28 days. I think you can make it.
A long time. And Melissa hates it. Bella hates it.
What does Wrigley think? Your dog.
He doesn't really articulate very well. He will lick you in the face, though, in a heartbeat.
Yeah, that's his way of saying it.
But there you go. All right, East Carolina, you're getting ready to go to Wilmington for the big matchup. The 150th, I stole your line, the 150th meeting between East Carolina and UNC Wilmington. That's a great series. I always love, and I had a chance to go down to Wilmington. One year they had I think it was the ECAC South Championship, and East Carolina, they ended up with rain on Sunday and had to play on Monday, and so I stayed overnight for that. That was kind of cool. But it's always been just a really cool trip, really cool matchup between the Pirates and the Seahawks.
Yeah, I was able to go last year. That was a crazy game last year. You had J.H. Rose's Riker Galaska tied the game in the 8th inning for UNCW, and then it's he's a Rose guy, and then you have South Central grad Alex Boucher hit the grand slam in the 10th to win it for the Pirates, and what was probably one of their best wins of the regular season. They only had 35 of them last year, so it was certainly one of their best, and that was a crazy game last year. We'll see what happens tonight. Ryan Towers goes for the Pirates, and obviously you'll be watching this. The game will be half over, but of course you got a big series coming up with nationally ranked Coastal Carolina on the weekend. Coastal's down their top 2 starting pitchers.
Yeah,
so this is going to be.
They are struggling a little bit. Yeah,
and UTSA run ruled them last weekend. Yeah. UTSA now ranked nationally, and it's they've shown some kind of some holes in their game. From last year's obviously national runner-up season.
Yeah, we were hoping that Williford would start against East Carolina, but he pitched in the Sunday game. Is that right?
Against UConn. He could come out of the pen.
Could come out of the pen.
So we'll see.
And he's had a good start.
And Galaska should still play, so that's a Rose rampant at least out there for UNCW.
Yeah, so that'll be good. So that's coming up tonight, 6 o'clock start from Brooks Field. You know how long they've been playing at Brooks Field?
I'm going to guess before you got here.
They started in 1957.
Wow.
In Brooks Field in Wilmington.
They got a new scoreboard, I heard.
Well, they needed one if they started in 1957. They may have replaced it a couple of times. Yes. All right, this is Bailey's Best. We'll take a commercial break right now. Coming up next, we'll talk college basketball. East Carolina trying to fight their way into the American tournament. Back with more on Bailey's Best for you after this. All right, welcome back to Bailey's Best. Let's talk college basketball because it's almost tournament time. You can almost hear that music. I don't think I did it well. You did it better than I did. All right, let's talk of the American Conference and the women. And East Carolina's ladies the other day lost to Rice in a heartbreaker.
Yep.
Then they came back and laid an egg at Memphis. Was that Memphis, wasn't it? Yes, it was. And they're 13-4 overall, but they have clinched the number 2 seed because they only have 1 game left, and they have the tiebreaker over South Florida. The tiebreaker, like we said in the
baseball segment.
Yeah. All right, so they have the tiebreaker there. So they'll be the number 2 seed in the upcoming tournament. Rice will be the top seed. And this year, you get the bottom 3 don't even go.
No.
So you get a double bye. You're in the semifinals right now. You're 2 wins away from the NCAA tournament, which is a really, really cool deal. So congratulations to Kim McNeil, who's so good to work with. You just call her up, say, hey, can we come do an interview? Boom, you're there. So she's really, really been a blessing for East Carolina, I think, and hopefully the ladies can do something. I went on the trip with them when they played in Austin in the NCAAs, and that was a lot of fun. I may let you go this time if they go.
Yeah, we'll see where they get sent. They'll get sent to like Seattle or something now.
And I want to go somewhere cool. Yeah.
Or they'll go to Spokane, something like that.
All right, for
away.
the men, it's a different story because the Pirates are just 6-10 overall, and you have to finish in the top 10 to go to the tournament. So as we sit here right now, East Carolina and Rice are tied at 6-10. Memphis and Temple are tied at 7-9. Tulane is 8-8. North Texas is 8-9 with 2 games to play. North Texas is not out of the hunt yet, I don't think. East Carolina has to win out, I think, although I was told they don't have to win out. They could get a lot of help, but they need to win out if they want a chance, I think. That would put them at 8-10, and then you just kind of figure out where they go. They have played better basketball of late. They did have the injuries at the beginning of the year, and the goal was always to play your best basketball in March, and probably they are. Mike Schwartz will be back next year. What do you think of that?
Yeah, I wasn't too surprised. I just felt like it was, they were going to give him another chance and kind of cite the injuries to LeBeau and Woodard as part of the reason why the team has floundered like they have this year. A lot of fans are not happy about it. I mean, that's just the truth. And you always hear, the people are always more upset. You hear more from them than the people who are okay with it.
Right.
But the reality is they need to relook at the way they build the roster. And I think this roster had a lot of holes in it. And they got to find 3-point shooting, because most of the year, you don't have to be excellent. You don't have to be the Boston Celtics at 3-point shooting, but you can't be 361 out of 364. It's just not a way to play in college basketball. And much of the year, they were in the bottom 10 in America.
Those points aren't worth 2. No, they're worth 3, and they add up quickly.
Yeah.
When you think about East Carolina basketball and what's happening in the old days, when you have a coach that is on the hot seat per se, I think recruits would say, I don't know if I want to go there. He's not going to be there the whole time, or a chance he won't be there the whole time. But now these guys are just looking for 1 year. 1 year money.
Get a check.
Yeah, get a check. So I don't think that's going to affect them at all. I think they're going to, but they got to find, we say you got to find some shooters. You got to find some makers. Yeah. We got shooters, but we got to find some makers. The guys have got to start making some threes. And 360, you got to be pretty bad to go 361 out of 364 teams.
Yeah, and
that's incredible.
And they've improved a little bit this year. The one thing I'll also say about finding portal guys is, you can now say Jordan Riley came in here, played 2 years, is going to be a first-team all-conference guy.
He was awesome this year.
He's been awesome this year. Imagine how bad they'd be without him.
Those slam dunks, they were incredible, were they not?
He can.
Let's show him. We'll show you right now. We'll describe him. But how about that? He goes through off the wing first, and that's a poster shot, and that was unbelievable. And then he gets the steal, and man, he was wide open. And he said afterwards,
the windmills are blowing.
Yeah, he said afterwards he told Coach he was thinking about doing some different things, and Coach laughed and said, "Hey, just slam it home.
Just put two points.
Yeah, just 2. Yeah, there were 2 points. And with the way we shoot threes, we need those 2s
badly.
So yeah,
and the worst.
But that was really cool. Jordan Riley has been the one big positive for this East Carolina basketball team. Pirates 11-18 overall, 6-10 in the American, and still fighting for a spot in the tournament.
I'll say one more note about the women's. The 1 seed has not won the tournament since 2019 on the women's side. So maybe you didn't want to be in that spot, but again, you have a chance to get Rice maybe in the championship and then knock off South Florida or Tulsa. ECU's got to play the 3 and 4 seeds, Tulsa, UAB, this week to try and get into Birmingham.
All right, there we go. Rice is the 1 seed for the ladies, and East Carolina is the 2 seed, and hopefully Mike Schwartz and company can work out a miracle. We'll come back and wrap up this edition of Bailey's Best for you after this. All right, welcome back as we wrap up this edition of Bailey's Best. Brian Bailey with Zach Kaplan. Zach does all the work. I get all the credit. That's just how it is when you get to be 62, 63
you let me do
years
the fun
old.
stuff, though.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I used to do all the fun stuff. I used to fight to do everything, and now you got that fight in you, so I'm very proud. All right,
Appreciate
let's
that.
go to the ACC. Duke, it was the top seed. They've clinched that. They played North Carolina coming up. Do you think Duke having the top seed already clinched has any bearing on the Carolina game this week?
No, they want to beat
either.
him, especially the way that with 2 court stormings and the way it went in Chapel Hill, they did not get the whistle in the second half. I do think they'll get the whistle on Saturday and certainly want to even that series before they go to Charlotte.
I haven't told you this,
Okay.
but I'll tell everybody. If you get a chance, if you're watching ESPN, they're doing these promotions on the game, Duke and Carolina. There's a great shot of one of the court stormings, and I don't know, it's almost like a Zach Kaplan promo because you're right in the middle with your camera and both sides are coming together, and it's really cool. And I meant to tell you that so you can look for it, but I was like, there's Zach. He's right there. It was awesome. So you're right there, and it's a good shot.
Let's show some shots of the court storming here. It was what a scene that was.
You may have to call ESPN and try to get some money out of that.
Royalties?
Yeah, I think so. I think you deserve them.
Carolina, meanwhile, they're looking pretty good to get a double bye. As we record this on Wednesday, they need, I believe, Miami to beat SMU to secure their spot, or it might be the other way around. But the Miami SMU game that will decide whether they get a double bye or not. State most likely playing on Wednesday in Charlotte.
Yeah, State's been a disappointment, I think. I thought they would be much better, and they weren't very good against Duke. They weren't very good against Virginia twice. They weren't, they've had some really, really tough outings, not very physical, and I think it's been a struggle in Raleigh this year.
And I had it right initially. Miami needs to beat SMU tonight. Carolina secures a double bye. As for NC State, I mean, it's the roster to me. Will Wade's kind of said it without saying it, and sometimes he just straight up said it this year that he didn't like the way he built it, wants to get, kind of a different looking roster next year, maybe a more athletic roster and, more consistency, because when they've been good, they've been really good. And right now, 5 out of 6 they've lost.
All right, very quickly, our state is not known for great teams in the pro ranks, in the professional ranks. The Carolina Panthers, they've had their years. The Hornets have had very few years, and the Hurricanes have probably been the success story. But this year, the Hornets are really fun to watch. Even if you don't like professional basketball, which I don't, I will watch the Hornets because I like Con Knipple. I like Ball running the point because he's healthy and he's jumping around. I love listening to the announcer, the
Eric Collins, he's tremendous.
He's just, he sounds like it's Game 7 of the World Series
every time.
And he yelled, but he's good. He's really talented. It's just a good production, and I think it's a lot of fun to watch. And of course, the Hurricanes, we do get a chance to go to some Hurricane games coming up for the playoffs, and that's always fun because that is really neat to be there because you get a chance to go to the big city of Raleigh, and you get to mix with all the guys that you work with. We share video with them. They share.
You've worked with all of them,
but it's just a lot of fun, and it's a good time of the year. We got high school baseball. We have barely touched, but there are some really good teams in our area. Most notably Conley, for sure. They've had some really good outings already, so we'll have to check on them.
We got to go see. They got a Duke commit. Rose is going to be good again.
Yep.
And you forgot about the Hornets. You got the Moose.
That's right, Musa Diabate. And
great nickname.
Conley baseball. Tucker Anderson's had a couple of good starts already too, and he mowed Rose down a couple of times last year. All right, that's going to do it. We're running out of time already. It's so easy doing it with you because
time flies. I just talk.
You can talk, and it works out well.
That makes 2 of us.
That is Bailey's Best for this week. We'll see you back here next week.